Hello everybody, Joyce here with the Traveling Gamblers, and I am here with Jon. Hello, Jon.
Hello, Joyce.
And today is day 8 of 28 days living on the Apex. And where we left off yesterday, we were doing some work in the cabin. It was early afternoon, and we got a lot of stuff done.
Yes, we did.
We got a lot of work done yesterday. We really focused on yesterday being a complete work day, as will today. And then you went to Cafe El Baccio. I stayed in the cabin.
Right.
We went down to Cafe El Baccio about 3:30.
Mm-hmm.
And then about a half hour later, I joined you.
Yes.
And Randy was there with us, and we were in Cafe El Baccio for about a half an hour. I had my delicious iced coffee. And then I came back to the cabin to get ready for dinner. Jon...
I stayed, did some more editing, and then came back up. We went to Lumine for 5:30.
And we had a delicious fish. Comment below if any of you have ever had turbot, T-U-R-B-U-T. So it looks like turbot, but it's turbot. And it was delicious.
Yes, it's a flat fish. I've never heard of it before.
Pretty dense.
Yeah,
but light.
But flaky, but a little bit on the dense side.
A little on the dense, but it was, I don't know how they cooked it, but it was like juicy.
Right.
There's no skin. And it was just delicious. It was
right.
absolutely delicious. Dinner was wonderful as always. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to get to the 7 o'clock show, so we skipped dessert and we headed straight to the show, which was Rockumentary. And we actually have a clip that we'll show you in a little bit. When we got to the show, it was packed. The theater was packed, both deck 4 and 5. I've never seen the theater that full since before the pandemic. So we ended up leaving the theater because it was so full. And we stopped by the casino. I don't know what the numbers are. I have no idea. But if you play enough, I don't know how they calculate it. More often than not, we have some onboard credit that needs to be spent. And Jon and I almost never have anything on our bill except for cash for the casino. And they don't comp that off. And so I had $195 to spend, but I'd gotten a pedicure the other day, which was $109. Yes, I know, $109 for a pedicure. But I just want to say it was the fanciest, most expensive, most extensive pedicure. And I had gel polish. So the gel polish alone was an extra $20. I would never, ever, ever, ever do something like that under normal circumstances. But with our hectic schedule the 6 weeks prior to, I hadn't had a chance to have a pedicure, and I needed one desperately. And I couldn't spend 4 weeks on the Apex without one. So I got one the first, I think it was the second day. So that was good. So they took that off the bill, and then I bought some shampoo and things like that. And then after we went shopping,
we went to the casino. There was a complimentary slot tournament. They do that a couple of times throughout the cruise.
Usually the first night and the last night, they have a complimentary, meaning no fee, anybody can join. So after that,
so we decided to walk over to Cafe El Baccio. We got some tea.
I had citrus mint, which is a decaffeinated tea. It's delicious.
Yes, I had that also. And then...
Oh, I didn't know you had the same tea.
Yeah, I always copy you a lot of times. I don't tell you.
And we listened to some live music they were playing in the Grand Plaza, which is right there off of Cafe El Baccio, and it was absolutely lovely.
We walked back to the theater, and there was a line there, about 30 people waiting for the theater to open. It's the first time I've ever had that happen.
Yeah.
And we were able to get good seats.
But it wasn't bad because although we were in line for like 10 or 15 minutes, there were only 30 people ahead of us to go into that giant theater. So we really had our pick of the seats, and we got great seats. We were on deck 4, the back row in the center section, and it was they were really great seats. I'd like to sit there in the future.
Yes. We only stayed for 3/4 of the show. We wanted to see a show in Eden.
So here's a clip of Rockumentary. And depending on whether or not there's a copyright claim will determine whether there's music or not. So if there's no music, it's because we had to silence the music, but we still wanted you to see. As Jon said, we only stayed for about 3/4 of the show because we then walked over to Eden where Mark and Randy were, and they saved us some seats, and we watched a show in Eden, The Night of Enchantment. It was a couple different performers that took turns coming out and singing like love song type songs, and there was a little bit of dancing, but very little dancing.
It was basically the cast that does Caravan, which they usually do in the club, different than the regular production cast.
Actually, that part of the show was really good.
Yes.
And we can actually put in a clip of that. So here's a clip of Night of Enchantment. By the way, if you go to a show at Eden, a little tip, definitely go early, maybe 45 minutes early. They have a bar and they have servers there and they have music that they play. So you're not just sitting there in silence, and it's a lovely, lovely venue. I recommend walking around, and you'll know what I mean if you're in Eden, walking around the ramp up to deck 6. It's the only way that you can get there on deck 6 in Eden, is to walk up the ramp, or to take they have a little lift in there and sit at the glass wall, because you can see down, and they are the best seats in the house. Absolutely best seats in the house. And so after that, we went to bed, came back to the cabin. I got my laundry prepared for today, because if they hand in your laundry before 9 a.m., you get it back the next day. And then this morning we got up at about 7 and we got ready to go to breakfast at LUGGAGE, and we had our final breakfast with Mark and Randy, and it was absolutely lovely.
Yes,
and
we had a really good time with them.
We did. We had a great time with Mark and Randy. It was a really fun cruise. We enjoyed their company very much. And then we went to the retreat lounge, and we went upstairs and we recorded the retreat sun deck, bar, and pool area. Then they escorted us off the ship, took our CPAS cards, walked us through customs. You kind of go off, do the facial recognition at the passport thing, and then loop right back on. They hand you your new CPAS cards. And then we were the first suite guests back on. There were a couple, maybe 10 people ahead of us in line.
Right.
And we wanted that because we then went to the retreat lounge and recorded that, and then to LUGGAGE and recorded that. So we have a full retreat video from the Apex coming out soon, once we edit it and put it up. Now it's 11:40, and we are going to go to LUGGAGE for lunch. They open at 11:30 on Embarkation Day. And then we're going to go to Cafe El Baccio and spend the rest of the afternoon in Cafe El Baccio working and meeting new people and making new friends and drinking some coffee. And then tonight, I think we're going to just keep it chill. We're going to have dinner in our cabin. We're going to have room service. I think we're going to have the turkey clubs.
Yes, the turkey clubs.
And then we are going to go to the casino and spend the rest of the evening in the casino with our free play, and hopefully turn it into something good. And by the way, we ended last week with a $4,100 win for the week. So that money is set aside, and we will not touch that, and we will get off the cruise with that for sure. Right?
Yes. Yes. And on that note,
that does it for us for day 8 of 28 days on the Apex. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate your support. And as always, We hope you have a wonderful day. And if you haven't done so already and you like our channel, please subscribe. Thank you.